Good afternoon and Happy New Year to everybody here. Scale Models Midwest, David here as always. Hope you had a great holiday season and hope you had a great New Year's holiday as well. So, wanted to show you the first kit of 2025 that I finished building just yesterday, Saturday, and wanted to show you some kits that my daughter built as she was kind of asking me for some camera time, and also kind of show you the kits that I built over the year, and on top of that, what I have plans for 2025. So right away, I see a lot of other people doing their year-end review, and go check every one of them out. Every one of them's got some really cool videos about the cars they've built. Some built as few as 2 to 4 cars, and some as many as 20. And of course, if you follow Chris over at HPI Guys, that dude's like, he builds like 100 kits a year. But they all look really good, and definitely get to some of these other channels, subscribe to them if you haven't already, give them a like, give them a view, and if you haven't done for my channel, please, it helps with the algorithm, like, sub, and hit the notification. And so now that we've got all that stuff out of the way, let's show you the car. What I built here for my first car of 2025, I actually started the week of Christmas. This is the Revell number 52 SI Lane Automotive Camaro that was driven by Butch Miller. One of the things I'm going to kind of do in 2025 is if I build a race car, I'm going to try and see if it's one of the more obscure racers. If I use a decal set from one of the Salvino's kits for another build or what have you, I'm going to kind of look up and kind of give you a brief on who the person was. This kit, for starters, if you look at it, it's Camaro from 1987-88 ASA National Champion. Now, ASA stands for American Speed Association, and it's a good, I guess, I don't know, feeder system for getting some people into NASCAR, and Butch was no different. Butch didn't just run in NASCAR, he ran NASCAR Infinity as well as Winston Cup. He also ran in the Craftsman Truck Series. In fact, in the Truck Series career, he beat Mike Skinner in, according to Wiki, in 95. He beat Mike Skinner at Colorado National Speedway by 1/1000th of a second, which apparently is the closest finish in Truck Series history. He did have a couple wins in the Xfinity Series. He didn't have any wins in NASCAR, although he did have one top 10. I believe it was a 4th place finish. But his biggest successes came through not just being in the ASA as a driver, but being as a crew chief for multiple organizations. So, you know, it's really cool building a kit of someone that you don't normally see. He's not a Busch. He's not a Wallace. He's not a Earnhardt. You know, this is a guy that's meat and potatoes type of racing, and that's what really drew me to the kit. First of all, as I looked at the kit and said, a long time ago I wanted to build one of these, and every time I saw it I was like, yeah, someday I'll buy it, and I never did. Finally I did buy it. I saw this one, I can't remember if it was at the model car contest and show that was in Grimes or if it's up at the hobby shop up in Ames, but I saw it and I said, you know what, now's the time, I'm going to jump on it. So I did. I bought the kit. Don't regret it. Built up into a nice kit. It's about 35 years old because the instructions here say 1989. But I like it. What kind of surprised me at first is it's not really a stock car. The way it was designed, it looks almost like it's offset kind of chassis. It doesn't have a full interior. The interior is all in this spot here where the red's at, and I'll show you a picture of that as we go. But I love how everything was exposed, and the suspension went together nicely, both front and rear. The engine, it's not your typical V8. This is actually a V6. So this V6, try and get it close to the camera, pretty sweet. And it's got to be one of the best detailed 4-barrel carburetors that I saw. Very close to that of the Corvette that I built earlier this year. But ultimately, it built up into a really sharp kit. It sits level. I had fun building it, and I cannot stress enough, you see an older kit, don't just buy it to put in your stash, because I did a count on mine. I've got now about 150 kits. That's nowhere near some of the stashes I've seen people talk about, but it's coming close to what I had in the past before I sold off half my collection. And I've actually I bought more kits than I've built. So one of my goals for 2025 is actually build more kits. Sorry, to take some of my water here. I'm thinking on building one race car, and then I'm going to build a regular car, then another race car, then another car, race car, another car, and go from there. Now, having said that, I actually am kind of shifting gears, because while this is my first build of 25, my next build will also be of a race car, because I just happen to love the body style. I can't get enough of it. But on this one, again, I mean, if you look at it, it is a nice kit. If you see this in your local hobby shop, or if you see this kit or any of the other ones, they had like 2 or 3 different types of ASA racers. Do yourself a favor and buy them. And at the same time, while you're building them, research the driver, because again, it's not a Wallace, it's not an Earnhardt, it's not a Jeff Gordon, it's not even a Robbie Gordon. It's a journeyman racer who has just as much a mark on the hobby and then on the series themselves that they raced in as any of the other ones. And I just mad respect for this guy as I was reading his bio. So yeah, I like this. I like the fact that he was a 3-time ASA champion. I think running for Leroy Throop Racing, he had at least 3 championships. I think it was the 87, 88, as this one shows in the box art, but also in 94, he was an ASA Speed Association champion, as well as in 88, he was the ArtGo Challenge Series champion, and the Slinger Nationals winner in 88 and in 1995. This guy had a career going all the way up to about 2010, 2011, when he shifted his focus to being more of a crew chief and helping bring up other drivers into the sport. So that's really cool. So I really liked building this kit, really like reading the history about Butch Miller, and really hope you like this kit as well. So I'm going to move this off to the table and show you some other things. This video is going to be a little longer, but it's going to have a lot of little things here and there, and hope you like what you see. So give me a second, let me get this moved and get started with the rest. Goal number 2 for 2025 is for me to kind of clean up my hobby table a little bit better and just kind of have it a little more organized. My wife and I actually talked about it this morning. We're going to work on finishing our basement this year, which means I actually will hopefully have a dedicated hobby room with better shelving instead of having folding tables and actual workbench. But what I've got right here works just as well. I just need to keep it clean and go from there. Anyhow, second item, you can find kits pretty much anywhere if you look hard enough. In this case, it was a happy accident. I wasn't even looking. I was at Lowe's just after Christmas, went to pick up a couple of their Carrolltown Village items because they were 75% off. And my family and I love to do a village. In fact, this year I showed a video of our village with pictures and whatnot. Next year we hope to be even bigger. We picked up a couple more village items. But one thing I noticed is we were starting to walk up to the checkout counter. I saw this little display that said clearance, and they had model kits on there. This was Lowe's. I have never seen a model kit at a Lowe's before, but I saw 2 different ones, and they're pretty inexpensive. This was one of them. Airfix's Quick Build Ford Raptor. This was one that I actually picked up from one of my hobby stores, and this was built by one of my martial arts students as part of our build and take. So I saw these and I said, you know what? They built up really well. They looked sharp. So I bought not 1, not 2. I didn't want to be greedy. I just stuck with 3. These are going to be for my next make and take, done sometime this year. I plan on having another one. It was very successful. The money we raised for the make and take went to Project Key Up, which is a local foundation that gets kids involved in the martial arts who otherwise would not be able to afford to. So I went on ahead and donated to them any proceed that I had for these model kits. Those weren't the only ones I bought. They had this one, which is the Lamborghini Huracan Evo. And I went on ahead and bought not one, not two, but you guessed it, 3. So I've got 6 kits to start. My goal, number 3 for 2025, is to have another make and take with almost double the number of students that we had as we did the last time. And when we do with this one again is any proceed that we have from it, we'll donate to Project Kiev. So this is stuff that, you know, I'm taking out of my own pocket, building these kits with the kids, just being there, having fun, building them with their parents. It was a wonderful experience. I loved it so much, I'm going to do it again. Cool little side note on this is that I told 2 of my kids that I did with martial arts, the build we had earlier, I said, they still have some of these left. And sure enough, they went there and got one of each of the kits. They didn't have too many left. So, you know, Gus and Griffin, they're going to be able to build, not Gus and Griffin, sorry, Gavin and Griffin are going to be able to build these kits. And it looked like one was already built. So getting these kids involved in the hobby is the greatest thing, man. So if you get a chance to do it, do it. If you're in a model make and take of your own, or if you get involved with your model group to do the same thing, you will not regret it. I think it's a great experience getting kids to build these kits. So while we're on the subject of the model make and take, I still had 3 students who had built their kits and finished them outside of our 2-hour window that we had for our model make and take last year. And I wanted them to bring me the kits so I could take a picture of them. And I'm going to add those 3 pictures right now behind this so they're in sync. Got to thank the guys for building their kits. As I'm looking at the pictures right now, the truck was built by Lachlan, and I actually like the truck, especially because of the fact that I built a similar truck with my Farrell's Martial Arts decals on it. So great job there, Lachlan. The next kit was from Philip. He built the 2012 Camaro. And then last but certainly not least, the last picture is of the Gunplay Warrior that Kylan built and had completed. So again, these 3 kids, hopefully this inspires them to go out and buy another kit and build it and have some fun. Hopefully they can come back and do the next model make and take. So I'm going to, like I said, add those pictures here at the very end of this. And then we're going to get right back into what else I've got to show you. So what's on deck? Well, in the next month to 2 months, I've got a pretty cool slate, a pretty full slate as well of things I want to build. Now, the most current one that I'm going to actually start today is the Salvinos JR Kit of the Month from, I think, December. This is Wood Brothers Racing, driven by Kyle Petty, 1987 Ford Thunderbird. This is the body style Thunderbird I really love and wish that I could find a turbo coupe that I could buy and just drive, because I just thought they were cool. And obviously, you know, I'm a big Thunderbird fan because not only do I have a couple model kits of like Bob Glidden's Monocraft T-Birds, anytime I see something in a dump bin at Walmart or at my store of the Thunderbirds, there's the Matt and Debbie Hay Pro Street Thunderbird. I would love to get that in the kit again because I built it years back. Of course, there's a standard black one, and then another one from a different era. I think this is like the 84. But I just love the Thunderbird, and if I had a couple more Thunderbird kits, I'd be building those for sure. But that's my next build for sure. I'm also still trying to figure some stuff out on this one. The IPMS Glues Brothers here in Iowa, in Grimes, they got a build challenge for this, the 71 Dodge Demon. I picked it up. I initially thought I'd kind of do this one almost like Swede Savage's Cuda, or Challenger, I think it was, and do a road racing one, because everybody else is doing pro streets or pro stocks and dragsters and whatnot, and these one's doing a Motown Missile, which is pretty sharp. So I wanted to do something different, but then I was talking with my friend Terry, and I kept thinking, all right, well, what if I did Pro Street or Pro Stock? And he suggested going that route. So I'm working on trying to figure out what kind of chassis I can use for this, if I can pull that, maybe from the AMT 66 Chevy Nova Pro Street. I've got like 4 of those kits. If I could just borrow from that, I might actually do something with the kit chassis itself and use medicine bottles and cut them to make wheel wells. I've seen that done for those, as well as transmission humps. But I was thinking, if I do the Pro Stock route, it's going to be with a modern flare. So I've got to look at Iceman collections and see if he's got like a Elephant or a Hellcat 3D printed motor and put that in there. But that's another one of the kits. It's a year-long venture, so it's not something that has to be done right away, but eventually will. I also am going to start, and it's going to be a long time build, of that Ford Fairmont that I have been getting parts from Future Attractions and Scott Popham from. So that one, as I start building it, I'll start showing it to you. The other day, I had an email from Hobby Nut Models about their year-end sale, and I picked up some Real Colors paint pens. These are just a few of them, and looks like blue, red, and yellow. So I'm going to give those a try, and if they pan out with what I'm hoping for, like, you know, dash panel detail, especially on the race cars, then I will go in and purchase some more. They were pretty inexpensive, I think $3 a pen, but he twisted my arm. I heard the siren call. I do like Skylines, so this was one that I picked up, and it was really inexpensive. It's the Fujimi Skyline 34 or R34, and it says right here the 25 GT Turbo 98. I just love the shape of it. I looked at the kit inside, and I mean, it's just beautiful lines, tires and wheels, they all look great. And I mean, with kits like from Tamiya and Fujimi, I don't think you can go wrong with them. So I'm going to work on that. Of course, the other item I've got on deck is the BMX Peugeot 306. This is a tarmac rally car, as one of the comments had pointed out to me, and I think it's a pretty sharp car. So yeah, definitely going to be putting that one together. And then finally, as far as the on-deck kits, I am definitely going to, since I built the A90 or A990 Superstock Dodge, I am going to work on cleaning up and building this one as a companion piece to the 65 A990. So beyond that, I can't get enough of 82 Pontiac Le Mans. This is a Builders Club exclusive, the JD Stacy 28. Something about JD Stacy cars that gets at me. I like it. It's a simple decal scheme, but working on those. I may or may not build that JD Station one right away, but I've also been looking at the Richard Petty Roadrunner, or as they've been putting it, the Chrysler Plymouth. And yeah, I just got quite a few going for it. So be sticking around, and that may change too. I might be like Bad Chad, where I start working on a kit and then put it off to the side and work on something else. Case in point, this one, which is the King of the Mountain Corvette, which hopefully I can find a 3D printed file from Cults 3D or somewhere else of the, I believe they're Anson slots that were the rims, and the tires printing as well. For that matter, or for that factor, what you want to call it, I have been thinking really seriously about buying a 3D printer. I've seen some others do it. I think Jason at Blue Ox Model Shop has one. We have a really good 3D printing company here in Des Moines. I actually saw one of the guys who runs the business yesterday, at a store, and so I asked him about it, and he's invited me to come over and look at what they have. They also, I guess, have some tutorials on how to use them, so I figure I'm going to go and check it out. I told him what I was looking for, and he says, we've got that. So I'm going to consider very seriously investing in a 3D printer and then trying to find some place to hook it up down here, because right now everything's been reorganized, but I just don't have room for a 3D printer, so I've got to do some more moving around. So I'll keep you updated on that happening. So with that, I am going to go on ahead and show you what I have my daughter having built over the years that she's done it. She doesn't build too many kits, but she's got a rather eclectic personality, if you will, as far as cars, tanks, and whatnot. The tank she didn't want me to display. I have a German Tiger tank. All she did, she said, was she picked it out and made me build it. So that's actually a kit that I built, but she helped a little bit. But whether she agrees with that or not, that's her choice. What she did build most recently was this first one. Like this on the stand, and some of them are still on display. I'm not gonna keep running and getting them back because she didn't want to go get them. She's gonna make me do all the work. This was the Firebird that she did as part of the model make and take. There was a Porsche 993 GT3 that I had in the stash, and she was really looking forward to building that one, but another kid got that one, and she said, that's all right, Dad, I'll just get that the next time we get a chance. We see it, we'll buy it, and she'll build it. She did this one, again, just box stock, just a little bit of panel line detail, and applied the Screaming Chicken on the front, and that was that. She's painted a few cars, but not a lot. She just kind of wants to put it together, and then when she's ready to do paint, she said she'll do it. She has done paint before. Case in point, this one was actually one that she built, and I may have actually shown this one in a video a couple years back. This is the 2010 Camaro, basically the AMT promo. She put this one together completely, including the decals. I showed her how to do painting from the can, and I'm trying to think, this is a metallic pink. I'm not sure if it's the not Panther Pink, yeah, Panther Pink, but I'm not exactly sure. This one was built early on, maybe about, I'm going to say about 10 years ago when she was 11, 12 years old. But she put this all together. I even showed her how to detail the dashboard a bit, and she did all that. She did pretty good. Maybe you can see it. I don't know, but it is where it is. But she did the painting underneath. She did a pretty good job of it. But I had her practice with a junk kit first, so she can get her practice down on spray painting, because when she started to do the spray painting, she just held it in one place, and obviously you know what's going to happen there, a lot of drips and whatnot. So I showed her how to start here and go left and right, and she's got about 4 coats of the pink on there, as well as a couple coats of clear, and then I sanded it for her so it's polished out. But otherwise, this is one that's been on her dresser ever since. So I'm rather proud of that. I see it's right up there along with all her jewelry and whatnot, but this one takes a prominent point. The next one to show you is actually the very first kit she built. This is the 1957 Chevy, and this one again is just a quick kit. She didn't detail anything out. This is her very first kit. When this first came out, she loved it because of the Star-Spangled motif, and she's already on the hunt looking for the headlamp. She thinks it fell back behind her American Girl doll dresser, but this is where her American Girl dolls are at, along with the tank. She put them right up there with that, so she's just as proud as them as she is of her dolls that she has on display. And I can't be more proud of her for having built stuff like this. These were the only 3 that I was able to bring downstairs, and they're going to go right back upstairs because she told me she wants them back upstairs. So that tells you how much she's insistent that her kits go back to where they belong. Meantime, I'm going to go on ahead and show you some of the other kits that she's built, but I'm going to have to go over to our second model display table. So I'll be right back. Okay, first and foremost, I'm going to get the big one out of the way. This is the Shawn the Sheep Land Rover, and Shawn the Sheep and the dog and the pigs. Chelsea helped me put this one together, and it's a pretty sweet kit. The door's open to expose the interior. But right now, because I'm in an area where I don't have the greatest of lights, I just wanted to kind of show you what was here. She did this one, painted a lot of the animals, and helped me with the assembly of the vehicle after she painted all that. So that was one of the kits that she built I really liked. Trying to see what else we had over here. Had one more item. Had to pull it out from the side here, but this kit out front, I have to dust it, is the Chevera. This one I was hoping that I would have gotten her to two-tone the hood and the headlamp themselves, but I've also told her that we can take this kit apart and redo it and restore it. And she's like, okay. But she really liked this kit as well, much like the others, with the exception of the 2010 Camaro. She painted this one not. She just did it straight out of the box, and nothing wrong with that. Now this one here is from Halo. I think this was the USNC Pelican that Master Chief piloted. He's there in the front. I can't remember if this still works or not, so I'm going to try something here. Hang on. She did everything in this one. And of course, you hit the button in the very front, kind of lights up. But I'm not sure if that's the way it's supposed to be or if it's just because of the battery. But she built all this. Pretty sharp. If you spin it around, it has retractable landing gear, the item on the back goes down, that's for the cargo area. And I also think, if I remember correctly, I'm not going to mess with it, but the engine nacelles in the back also move. So she built this one. I was really proud of her for doing this one because it was something that I showed her how to weather a little bit. So she did all the black paneling detailing on this, and maybe someday she'll want to build another kit. So that's one that she did. And then finally this one here. This is another Corvette that Chelsea built. This is the Diecast. And you're here running up the stairs. It's a little dusty, needs to be dusted off. But this was another one she built because she liked it. And, you know, whatever she wants to build, I'll buy it. We'll sit down and create those memories. So that's basically it. And she's proud of it, but is sitting here with the nice little car yard that I've got of all these. And someday I'll show you some of these as well. I've shown some before, but we'll show you those later. But, which brings me back to what did I build for the year. So this year I built about, sorry, drink some more of my water here. I built, I think, 17 kits for the channel. This was one of them, the Monogram or Revell 67 Corvette, which I absolutely love. This is one of the airbrushed kits. This was done in the Toyota Sea Glass Metallic, just like the Supra, which you'll see in a moment. I like this one. I notice I'm missing a door handle. My daughter said she thinks she knows where it's at because it was on our mantelpiece above our fireplace in the living room. And when she was bringing it downstairs so we could take pictures of it, she thinks it popped off. So she finds it, we'll put it back on, no big deal, no harm, no foul. I do know of a way that I can put those on better, and I've been watching some YouTubes on that, so I will show you how that one works going forward. But again, one of my goals for 2025, this I believe is goal number 4, is to add more detail to each kit. and to kind of expand and break away from the comfort zone of certain things. You know, more wiring, more linkage, especially brake line details, side panel details, which will include like armrests. I want to kind of get into that aspect of things. I mean, I can do wiring all day long, and I've done that on several of my kits, but the other stuff I haven't. So I think that's going to be one of my goals for this year. Let me go on ahead and show you what else here. Now, do pardon the mess, because I'm just going to kind of quickly gloss over things. For starters, of course, there's my Litch Miller Camaro, sitting proudly next to the A990 Superstock Dodge, which I recently completed. That was the last kit of 2024, and again, one of the best kits I think I built all year long. Mobius, right now, I don't think can do any wrong. That is the number 71 Charger I did. This is for Bobby Isaac. Yep, did that one. There is the Supra, which I think next to the Porsche are the two favorite kits I did for the year, next to the Mustangs, which we'll see shortly. And then of course right next to that is the Porsche GT3 Cup, and that one also was one of my favorites of the year. Just a little bit of light and a little bit of dust. I gotta dust that. Next to that is the Mach 1 Mustang. And again, remember this one, if you build this one, it looks like very much a stock Mach 1 bus body. I had to sand the kit a little bit. You can sand the bottom pieces off, the trim pieces, so it looks more like a funny car. There's the first of the Salvinos JR T-Birds, the Davey Allison one, which looks awesome in Texaco livery. I believe I did the truck earlier this year, probably one of my first ones. Next to that is the Corvette, the Street Fighter Vet. Over here, if I remember correctly, the Bronco was done this year. And then towards the end here, I believe I did the 711 Pontiac this year. And then finally, my homage to Dave Freiberger. This was the Weekend Warrior Dodge Demon that I did. It's kind of like another one of those Weekend Warrior deals, much like that Nova. Right over here, you see my two Mustangs. And I'm just kind of glossing through this. Check out the previous videos where I had these. These two I did as part of the Mustang 60 group build, which I believe was put on by Sodak Model Cars, and that was awesome. I mean, I loved putting those cars together so much that I bought multiple kits of those, and I'll be building those in the future. Up here at the top, the very first kit I think I did at 24 was that little guy, the little Datsun pickup, which actually is a pretty cool little kit. And then I'm trying to see where else. Looking here, a lot of NASCAR kits. I may or may not have had them. This purple one I did not build. I purchased that during a hobby show and swap meet at Hobby Haven. I think I build what I like to build, but I also buy what's already been built as inspirations. As you can see down here, I've got the California Street Vet. I did not build that. As such, I did not build this one, but I build them kind of like what I see other people do, or I build some with an idea, but this one just pretty good. I like the color. And then there's my, I think this was my first or second airbrush job. This was the Corvette. This one holds a special place because this is the one that I won as a result of the first ever car show I went to, where I built and displayed this one. And they were looking for Ron Keselowski so they could award him the Club's Choice Cup and that kit. And then finally, the guy that I was hanging out with down in Ottumwa says, "Hey, that's the car you built." I'm like, "Yeah, that is." So I went up there and said, "I'm not Ron Keselowski, that's the model." It's like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, the Club Choice was that. and I won the kit, and it took me a year to build it. So that is going to my last goal of 2025, and that is try to enter a couple more car shows, some car contests. Now, in the past, when I went to my first model car show contest, I had never done them before, and the first time I got in, I won. Well, you know, I was going to win, and I didn't go in there expecting to win. I took several of my kits. I had a great time, saw a lot of really cool real life cars that were just so sweet, and I took plenty of pictures to get inspiration, but I kind of got bit by the bug a bit about building a car, whether it's box stock or part of a challenge, and then displaying it. The Dodge Demon as part of the IPMS Blues Brothers, that is one that they will display all the group entries at their next hobby show. And I figure I'm not going to go in and join every contest that I see, maybe a couple. I still want to build for myself and have fun doing it. And that's how you should do it too. Build your kits for you. Don't build them just so you can take them to a contest and win something, or if you didn't win, then get upset that somebody else built a better kit, or maybe in your mind didn't build a better kit, because that's only going to taint your hobby aspirations. For me, I just want to do a couple more of the contests because I think it's a great way to meet other like-minded model builders and get some ideas from them, whether I win or lose. And the camera ran out of battery. So, just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. There's a lot of stuff that went on in 2024, all awesome. Learned how to airbrush, finally, and got a mentor in Terry Adams, who is spectacular. I consider him a really good friend. Give me ideas on my 71 Demon and other ideas and pictures. One of my goals, because there's never really a final goal, is, as I've done in the past, if you've got kits that you'd like to have me feature on the channel, pictures of your built kits, please, by all means, send me those. My email is always in the description. I would definitely post those for you and give you out the props. Only thing I can really say is really build kits for yourself, but build to inspire others. Hopefully they can get into the hobby. Getting involved with a group build a couple of times a year is awesome. Getting involved with a local make and take is also very awesome. Helps to keep the hobby going. Helps keep us interested in what we're building. I'm going to break out of my comfort zone. I got a couple of non-car kits I'll be working on building this year too, but they're for later on in the year. I will show those as they come along. But beyond that, thank you very much for checking out this channel. As always, I've had it now for 3 years. It just keeps getting better and better. Sorry for the length of today's video. I just wanted to cover a lot of ground. But again, thank you very much for supporting this channel. Continue to tell your friends about it. Have them come in and like, subscribe, hit the notification. Helps with the algorithms. And with that, keep building the cool kits. We will catch you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Have a great 2025.